I think it was Henry David Thoreau who said, read not the times, read the eternities. And we're about a week, just over a week into Lent. And so often people give up something that's almost arbitrary. And I was watching a Father Mike Schmidt's video recently. He was talking about it's okay to iterate in what you give up for Lent. It's okay to iterate. It's okay to go, 3 days in or 7 days in or 2 weeks in and say, wait a second, maybe I gave up something that wasn't the best thing for me. Maybe I gave up something that wasn't the big thing that was holding me back from becoming who I'm capable of becoming. There's a story in the Old Testament of David and Goliath, right? And one of my favorite pieces of that story is this. Once David knew who Goliath was, once David knew, hey, that guy, we beat that guy, the Philistines leave. It was what they called it, a mano a mano battle, I think they called it. A solo battle where two armies were facing each other and they'd say, forget this massive battle, let's just have one against one and the winner takes all. And once David knew, that's Goliath, that's the one thing, he said, all right, I'm in. Sign me up. And I think in Lent, sometimes we don't do that. I mean, maybe I'm talking to myself. Maybe you do that. Maybe just really I don't do that. Read not the times, read the eternities. Maybe an amazing thing to give up for Lent is the times, is watching maybe the news, is maybe reading the news, is maybe going on social media and seeing what's going on in the world and substituting it for reading an eternity, for reading something that is true and good and beautiful. I've been diving into, once again, I don't know how many times this is now, but C.S. Lewis's book, The Screwtape Letters, and what a powerful book. And one of the reasons I bring this up in terms of reading the eternities is one of the signs of a great book is that you could just read one sentence or maybe one paragraph or one idea from it and just marinate on that one idea. And it can have a profound effect, positive, profound effect on your life. Just in the beginning of the book, not even in the book, there's this little thing that's two quotes. He quotes Martin Luther and he quotes Thomas More next to each other. And I have a feeling, knowing C.S. Lewis, I have a feeling he did this very intentionally, because I think one of his missions was to bring the church back together. Some people will say a quote from Martin Luther, I'm not reading that. And the same exact person probably says a quote from Thomas More. I'll read that one. And the funny thing is, C.S. Lewis playing with us, playing a joke on us, they're virtually the same quote. From Martin Luther, it says, the best way to drive out the devil, if he will not yield to texts of Scripture, is to jeer and flout him, for he cannot bear scorn. In other words, laugh at him. Laugh at him. He says the best way to drive out the devil, if he will not yield to texts of Scripture, right? Which is what Christ did when he was tempted in the desert, right? The devil gave him texts of Scripture, quotes of Scripture, and Jesus replied with quotes of Scripture. But Martin Luther says, hey, laugh at him, flout him. He can't bear scorn. And then Thomas More, same quote, right? Same quote. He says, the devil, the proud spirit, cannot endure to be mocked. Same line. My dear friend who was a monk, brother, I called him most of the time brother, would say, one of the greatest lies that the devil tells is that he doesn't exist. And I said, well, does the devil tempt us? And the monk brother said, are you kidding me? If he can tempt the Son of God, you don't think he can tempt you? You don't think he does it in exactly the way that he thinks, oh, that'll get at you, laugh at him. Mock him. Jeer and flout him. For he cannot bear scorn. He cannot endure to be mocked. What's he trying to do to you today? What's he trying to do to you today? Laugh at him. Don't pretend he doesn't exist, but laugh at him. You think you have what our God has? Laugh at him. Do you think you know me as well as my Creator knows me? Read not the times. Read the eternities.